Sup, you chuckle fucks? It's your boy Dark Raku here with What If Issei had both HCLWs and slash greed's powers or abilities. But yeah, now let me begin into this What If. This is part 3 of this What If. So yeah. So other than that, let me begin. So we go into mostly Issei getting to the house. Issei is just skipping to the house, wondering what he's going to kind of have to explain to his parents. He can always try to use his luck to try to do the best way to get out of the situation, or he can just explain them straight up to say that he basically got the game powers. Games. This is well, or he can just say that he was basically spending 3 weeks with Morohama Matsuda, even though Issei kind of has mostly a shiver go down his spine, because he's no longer a pervert, so that means he's not really interested in that many girls at all. And other perverted shit, so of course he doesn't really care. So of course, well, he's wondering what to kind of tell them. He's thinking maybe they'll take it well, maybe they won't take it well. Maybe he could just say that he basically got killed into another world and just appeared back after beating the shit out of some goblins over there. This is where, well, he then thinks, nah, they won't believe I'll become the Goblin Slayer. Nope, yeah, no, that's never gonna happen. What the hell should I tell them? Or maybe they would just be too happy and excited to see me, and then I'll think about what the situation would to do. Or maybe I should just say, I was in the hospital for a couple of months, but there was or maybe I should just say that I'm kidnapped. I was kidnapped and then I came back looking like this. I had to dye my hair so mostly they wouldn't see me. Yes, that's what I should say. Thank goodness I thought of that. This is where Issei right now kind of gives him a high five to himself, and now kind of goes to his house. Now, it's been really 3 weeks, so of course, mostly Issei straight up looks a little bit like not so a little bit. Mostly looks a little bit like what's it called? Ethan Gon from HCLW. So that being hardcore level wear. So it kind of looks like a little bit like this, but without the golden armor and a little bit less with the red hair. It's not that long. It's mostly a spiky. So yeah, it kind of looks like this. Let me show you. It looks more like this kind of spiky hair, but yeah. Also, don't worry about the look. Basically, yeah. But not the point. We go into mostly. He also does have some brownish highlights, but not the point. Well, a little bit of brownish highlights. It's mostly, it is a dark brown highlights, and he does have reddish eyes, but yeah, not the point. This is where, well, he is getting home, and this is where, well, he kind of walks into the door, like he knocks at the door and waits for it. He waits there for literally minutes, and more minutes. This is where, well, he then thinks that he has really bad luck, and maybe his parent was off to kind of go get something. Maybe just go get a graveyard stone for the fact that he might be dead for 3 weeks. Now that he thinks about it more, they probably see him already dead. But then again, he doesn't really care too much. He doesn't really care too much. But before getting off the porch, to just decide to walk back to his apartment because he realized his parents they see him probably dead already. So of course they're like, well, time to leave. This is where, well, when he was about to get off, this is when someone said, Issei? This is where, well, mostly not Issei, but they kind of say, who are you? This is where, well, mostly Issei looks up to see mostly a brown-haired woman who looks to be in her mid-age. Well, yeah, 30 somewhat, but yeah. She looks to be around her 30s, while next to her is basically her husband, who looks to be also around his 30s. Now, of course, they both look to be, that old, but this is where, well, one has kind of short brown hair with glasses and his eyes are somewhat closed somewhat. The other person, who's a woman, actually has kind of like longish light brown hair, and of course her eyes are kind of like a chocolate brown color. And this is where she says, who are you? That's where Issei looks up. This is where, well, Issei had to change his eye color thanks to a little bit of magic, but not the point, because it became permanently red after a while, but not the point. Or when not permanently red, it's actually kind of a reddish brown, but this is where, well, he looks up and says, huh? Oh, hey mom, hey dad, it's been a long time. This is where, well, mostly both parents seem confused, and they look back at each other and look back at Issei and says, do we know you? This is where, oh, Issei sighs and says, really, you forgot about me entirely? It's me, Issei Hyodo. This is where Issei kind of said to his parents, Both his parents wind their eyes and rushes up to Issei and hug him in an instant. This worked well. They did not care if it was Issei or not Issei because, well, they are just happy to hear that name. But at the same time, when they kind of stop hugging each other, mostly stop hugging each other and Issei together, they mostly kind of like let go of him and see Issei look completely different after 3 weeks. Was it work? Well, Issei said, "Ow, Mom, why did you crush me so bad?" This is where Issei pops his bones and kind of like says, "Ow, that hurt it a lot." This is where Issei looks at his parents, and he wasn't expecting such a monstrous grip from both of his parents. He was expecting that his bones were going to fucking destroy themselves, but this worked well. He looked like he took damage. He looked up and saw his HP bar literally says, "You have taken small bits of damage, about 200 damage." This is where Issei says, "Shit. They might be old as shit, they still kick my ass." Oh shit. But then again, I wasn't wearing any armor. Who really cares? Issei kind of gets up. And of course, he just stretch again, just to pop more bones. And that's where Issei say, "Ow, that feels better." Sorry for yawning. I got a little bit tired. But this is where, well, mostly, we go into mostly both of Issei's parents kind of asking where Issei has been at. Issei went for that excuse, saying that he was kidnapped. He had to permanently dye his hair. His eyes had to permanently be changed. He managed to kind of act like this underground leader where he had to get stuff, and yeah, it was a lot of risky business. This is where, well, most of his parents nodded. They literally bought that shit. They bought it so fast, and this is where, well, they were just happy to see Issei. Issei smiles at them and just says, "So, should we go inside?" This is where they open the door and let Issei inside. But yeah, we go into a timescape later on. Mostly we go into a timescape of mostly a huge mansion house, somewhat. A POV of a mansion house that's pretty big. It's not actually a part of any of the devil territory. It is in the human world. It is in Kowo, but mostly we go into some of the mansion. There was actually a couple of people are kind of like eating. Well, mostly they're kind of like mostly eating some stuff, and of course, one person with blackish hair, like long. Well, it's kind of like short, spiky hair that's kind of black with bluish eyes. This is where, well, he is kind of like eating some food, while next to him is like his butler, and this is where next to the butler is kind of some other people, mostly other maidens and butlers, but not the point. This is where, well, then there's in front of him mostly 3 other people. They were wondering where their kind of 4th member, who actually was kind of saved and helped by this person in front of them. Now the person in front of them is a human, a powerful human entirely with that, but they're not human, they're fallen, but not the point. Now, I will mention in how mostly the fallen look like. A fallen, well, the first fallen kind of looks like a girl with mostly longish raven black hair, with mostly magenta eyes. This is where, well, her name is Rainer, also known as Yumamatu, but not the point. This is where, well, next to her is mostly a girl with kind of like bluish hair, and of course yellowish eyes. This is where, well, she also has mostly raven black wings like the first one, but they're right now not showing it, but their figures are different because, well, the blue hair does have a bigger figure than mostly the black hair, but yeah. This is where, well, not the point. We then go into the 3rd person, who is actually a younger female than both of them. This is where, well, she seems to be around 16. She does have blonde hair into 2 pigtails, and of course, where, well, she also has, well, mostly bluish eyes. She does have a smaller figure than the other 2, but yeah, and a shorter kind of like height, but yeah. This is where, well, they're wondering where their last members at. Mostly, they're wondering where Donosik is at. They just don't know that Donosik was killed from the fact by Issei. Issei murdered his ass in 2 seconds. Issei did not care. Now, of course, mostly Rainer does not know that Issei's alive. She just kind of saddened. She's looking depressed as ever. Because, well, now after they kind of got defeated by the devils, and of course failed to take mostly someone like Asia Argento's sacred gear, they are actually, well, mostly, well, rethinking life. They're really rethinking the life and orders and other things. Mostly both Calowinner and even what's it called, the other girl, mostly bluish hair girl is named Calowinner, while the blondish hair girl is named Mito. They're both thinking into just living with the mostly human, While the raven black hair girl is kind of thinking to live with a human, but she's right now horrified and saddened for the fact that she killed a human like Issei, who was actually trying to be gentle, nice, and of course not look at her opie most of the time. This is where, well, she was actually kind of saddened for the fact that, well, she actually killed him. She probably does not know, well, what happened to him. He probably became a devil with the devils because the devils like to incarnate anyone that's dead who has a powerful sacred gear, or he's probably just fully dead and yeah, she will never see him again. She doesn't really like the human in front of her, not like love. She just I'm gonna say it again. Decently kind of just thanks the human most of the time for helping them, which mostly he didn't need to help them. He could easily just kill them, but instead just help them. That's what. Well, they don't know where Donut at, but they're right now just eating food. Of course, Rainer becoming depressed because every time she looks at the food, she kind of just reminds of like the first date that she ever had that was normal and decent, that wasn't trying to seduce the other person, because mostly Issei was trying to change a lot during the date until she just shot a hole through his heart and killed him, which she's horrified and what to do next. But yeah, while Minto and Calorina are trying to flirt with the human, which a human doesn't seem to care too much. He seems to be kind of bored and just eating food, and this is where, well, he finishes food, tell the butler that he can clean up while he's going to his room, but yeah. And this time he doesn't want any of the fallen to go into his room, especially the blue hair named Calorina or the blonde hair named Minto. He does not know why Raven doesn't do it. Not Raven, we'll see the black hair girl who with raven hair. Her name is Rainer. He doesn't really know, but he doesn't care. He's actually kind of grateful, but yeah. This is where, well, we go into mostly back into Issei's POV. Issei is kind of waking up and he's yawning because he's actually needing to go to school, even though he doesn't freaking want to. He's actually thinking of just ditching it because, well, first of all, he just kind of got back towards the human world after mostly leveling up a couple more hours during yesterday, mostly last night, but yeah. This is where Issei grins, and of course you can feel a little bit more confidence because his power is a little bit stronger. So I should mention in his strength. His strength before was at like 300, now it's at mostly 399. So yeah, speed is at mostly 350, and what other stats will be, yeah, you get the point. But not the point right now. But this is where, well, mostly, yeah, so mostly, yeah. Mostly speed is at 350. HP is at almost like 10,000, but not the point. Or, well, not 10,000. It's right now at like 5,500 with 55, but not the point. So he does have 5555, but not the point. That's where, well, he also kind of has his defense at mostly defense and endurance, or mostly durability and endurance are basically at, well, almost the same level. One being a little bit, well, mostly 2 levels up, but not the point. So mostly durability has mostly 300, mostly like, yeah, 350, while endurance is 355. But yeah, this is where, well, then there's others like mostly agility and other things, stamina. Yeah, you get the point. I'll mention those later, but not the point. This is where, well, Issei is grinning because he is now level, what's it called, instead of being level 47, he is now level 53. This is where, well, he leveled up a good chunk. This is where, well, he grins because he also got other, like, what's it called, mostly armor and other things, and other weapons, and more materials. This is where, well, he's grinning because he's going to become stronger than ever. He will become stronger than anyone. There's no one that ever will ever be able to damage him, but yeah, or ever be able to damage him. But not the point. We then go into a time skip, but yeah. This is where, well, we go into mostly Issei kind of getting to school. Now, when Issei is getting to school, he had to kind of somehow make his clothes grow a little bit, because he did kind of rip them. But yeah, he's actually now the height of being like 6'1", but not the point. Now, I'll mention later if he does have the Red Dragon Emperor or not, but not the point. This is where, well, he is kind of getting to school, and of course, a lot of people mistake Issei for being a new student, instead of just a student that was already there 3 weeks ago, but not the point. But this is where, well, when he gets to school, he actually kind of stopped by Sona. Sona questioned who exactly he is. If he's a new student, then go to the student council. If not, then why is he here? Issei says, really? You don't know me? How the... I know I changed. I know I fucking changed like a couple of bits. But God, how can you not recognize me, Sona? It's me, Issei Hyodo. This is where Issei said towards mostly Sona. Sona looks surprised and looks at him like if he was literally a ghost. Because Sona was actually confirmed that Issei Hyodo should be dead. Not alive, dead. This is where, well, she then says, how can I know and if you're not just dead? The hell are you talking about? Okay, have you watched way too many movies of like the zombie time? First of all, I am not dead. What the hell are you going on about? Okay. What happened to me was someone literally kidnapped me and I don't know where the hell I was for like 2 weeks in. But luckily, I managed to escape them. Had to dye my hair permanently and also dye my eyes permanently, but not the fucking point. Are you A, high? B, you might have watched way too many movies last night? Or C, what the fuck are you going on about? Sona say, nothing. No, nothing. She does say it out loud, thinking that mostly Issei was already dead. So that's why Issei kind of right now telling Sona. Sona right now looks at Issei. Issei narrowed his eyes at Sona, which Sona noticed that he narrowed his eyes, kind of thinking that Sona's probably insane, crazy, and just psychotic. This is where, well, Sona says, don't look at me with those eyes. This is where, well, mostly Sona looked at Issei. Issei said, then what the fuck you want me to look at you with? The positive eyes of a basically non-sane person? I'm sorry, Sona, but I am not that type of person right now. Sona glares at Issei and decides to go, whatever. Just get to your class. Issei says, oh yeah, I forgot to ask you, can I get actually like bigger clothing? I kind of grew a bit. I needed to become muscular a little bit to escape my catchers, but yeah. So can I get a help with clothing? This is where Issei kind of shows that he got a little bit torn clothing and it won't fit him no more. Sona blushes a little bit at mostly Issei's muscles because they are a little bit showing. And this is where, well, mostly Sona kind of has a little bit of blood nose falling down until she managed to rub it and says, yeah, sure, let me go get Tsubaki here. Yeah. This is where, well, mostly Tsubaki managed to contact, well, not Tsubaki, mostly Sona managed to contact Tsubaki and say, Tsubaki, I'm gonna send Issei Hyodo over there. This is where Tsubaki says, I thought he was dead. Yeah, don't tell him that. He kind of thought I was insane for the fact that I did say it out loud. This is where, well, mostly Tsubaki nodded and says, what do you want me to do with him? Get him clothes. Why? He's alive. He's wearing the proper school uniform. It's just the rip and, it won't fit him no more. What do you mean? You will figure out that later, okay? This is where Sona hangs up and says, so Tsubaki will help you when you get to the student council. Issei sweats off and says, this is not something that I'm getting in trouble for, right? Sona says, no, of course not. This is where, well, Sona did kind of grab her camera a little bit, her phone, and of course this is where, well, she was texting Tsubaki not to get Issei in trouble. But of course, mostly Sona also kind of grabbed her camera a little bit, like got the app, and wanted to take a picture of mostly Issei's abs because they seem to be quite ripped. This is where, well, Issei says, okay. Issei was about to start walking away because mostly Sona couldn't take the picture fast enough. Sona says, damn it. This is where, well, mostly she got quite interested in Issei a little bit, just because he's now ripped a little bit, but not the point. Also, his hair is completely different. It looks a little bit like Ria's a little bit, but not much. It's like a red-orange color, not crimson. This is where, well, his eyes are also kind of like a reddish brown, but not the point either. So he looks nothing like a Gremory, just a little bit spiky hair, but yeah. This is where, well, Sona just says, okay. Wait, why would I was taking a picture? God damn it. Seraph was trying to corrupt me, and I was almost about to be corrupted by Issei. Oh, God. What am I trying to do? This is where, well, Sona finally snapped out and realized what she was trying to do. But yeah, we go into mostly a time skip of mostly Issei kind of getting to Tsubaki, and when Tsubaki saw him, she couldn't resist in not having a blood nose, but she did. This is where, well, mostly Issei says, are you okay? Do you need paper or something? Mostly Issei is not perverted, so of course he doesn't understand why people have a blood nose. So yeah, this is where, well, mostly Tsubaki says, oh, no. That's just because I kind of got hurt a little while, like a soccer ball hit me, and that's all. Issei says, oh, okay. This is where, well, mostly Tsubaki says, damn it, soccer balls don't even hurt me at all. Nothing hurts me because I'm half devil. Not half devil, but mostly incarnation devil, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly Issei says, so can you give me help with clothing? Sure, what would be your size? I have no clue. This is where Issei said. Kind of clearly toned out because he doesn't know. Or not toned out, just doesn't really know. But yeah. Because the clothing that he was wearing in mostly the other world, it's mostly clothing that just literally fits him because why not? Just pretty fast, but not the point. He didn't really know what height it was or size or whatever bullcrap. So of course, they took a while to actually figure out the clothes that he actually supposed to be wearing. It was actually extra large, mostly extra large clothing, but yeah. But this is where, well, he's now pretty kind of like wearing the uniform. And this is where, well, Issei says, so how do I look? This is where, well, mostly there was no other extra, extra large kind of like white blazer. So of course, mostly Tsubaki had to kind of like get him a mostly black blazer instead, like a fully black blazer. Of course, the shirt underneath that he's wearing is not red. It's just like a, what's it called? Mostly it's like a, well, it's not red. It's actually just like a black shirt, but not the point. So it's a black blazer that he's wearing. And this is where, well, he is not wearing what's it called, the kind of, is it khaki color? I can't remember. Wait. So it's like a dark blue pants or dark gray. I can't tell. Fuck it. Mostly it's a black blazer. Well, mostly the kind of like white striped line shirt is actually black instead of being white, which it still has stripes, but it's actually the opposite color, being white stripes with mostly black instead of being white. But yeah, this is where, well, the black blazer is just a fully black blazer, but yeah, with a black shirt, dark gray pants, and of course the shoes that he wears is basically just the ones that he was wearing a while ago, which were just black shoes, but not the point. But yeah. This is where, well, mostly Tsubaki kind of says, well, you look great. Now, wear the tie. This is where she kind of like points at the tie, and this is where, well, Issei said, how do I do that? This is where, well, Tsubaki says, you can't be telling me that you don't know how to actually wear one. Issei said, you know what, let's just not go on with the, you can just scold me later about mostly we're not wearing the tie right. That's where Tsubaki says, no, get over here. This is where, well, she actually kind of grabs Issei from the collar and actually stops him from actually leaving. This is where, well, she actually just like sits him down and starts kind of like grabbing the tie around him. This is where Issei says, wait, Tsubaki-san, wait, this is too tight. This is too tight. You're choking me. This is where, well, Tsubaki managed to kind of let go of it a little bit. And of course, it is proper still. And this is where, well, Issei says, why were you trying to kill me for no reason? I know I was a pervert, but God, why the hell am I trying to die? This is where Tsubaki says, now you're perfect. This is where Issei says, yeah. Don't take it off. This is where, well, Issei said, you do realize I'm going to take it off. Tsubaki says, I know. And that's why I will punish you if you do it. This is where, well, mostly she kind of said towards Issei. Issei says, what? Are you into that BMSB or whatever the hell it's called? This is where Tsubaki's face becomes red and says, no. This is where Issei says, oh, thank goodness. Because I'm not into that shit. Hell no, I'm not into any pain fucking stuff. Hell no. This is where, well, mostly Tsubaki's face is red, and of course, she looks away. This is where, well, Issei looks also away and says, sorry for mentioning that. It's stupid of me to actually mention that. Tsubaki says, nope, it's fine. This is where Tsubaki thinks of one person that actually likes that shit, and is literally Akano Hinjuma. And this is where, well, Tsubaki says, you didn't know. I'm not interested. Okay, I might be strict, but I'm not interested in any of that, okay? This is where she says, okay, thank goodness. This is where, well, mostly, both of them just kind of, just shake, mostly like, nodded to each other, and said never to speak of this ever again. Which both of them kind of nodded. But yeah, this is where, oh, Issei walks away, and of course he's getting to his first hour. Which he kind of, not forgotten, he just gotta go back to wonder if mostly any of these classes kind of change, or he's been gone, and they should probably notify the teacher so most of the teacher doesn't see him as an awkward student just going in there. Which when he goes back inside, Tsubaki kind of had mostly kind of grabbed one of her oppai on because she was a little bit turned on from the fact that she did manage to take a picture of Issei in his uniform. He looks quite handsome as hell, and of course he looks kind of ripping other things and toned out. So of course, well, she grabbed one of her kind of breasts, and this well, she was kind of like munching on her kind of shirt, and this way Issei said, what is actually happening? Actually, I don't want to mention anything. This way, so I can manage to snap out and said, what do you need? This is where Issei said, oh, yes, I need you to send a message to all the teachers I have, just to kind of notify them so I wouldn't kind of be in trouble or any of that. Tsubaki said, yes. Is there anything else? Yes, What is there any other classes that might have, or not any classes? If there are any classes that kind of got changed in my absence of 3 weeks, this is where Sabaki say, let me check. This is where mostly Issei's a little bit embarrassed just seeing that, and of course where Sabaki's a little embarrassed on why the hell she even did it in school, especially when the door was unlocked. This is where she says, "Damn it, I'm an idiot. Oh God, if Sona would have saw me, she would have questioned why am I doing it." And then Issei, why isn't he a pervert right now? He should be interested in the fact that I was grabbing. This is where, mostly Sabaki wanted to just do a little test to actually see if Issei does, is Issei still normal, in her opinion, or normal as being a pervert can be. And this is where, she decides to kind of press both of her arms together into her chest to kind of lift them up to kind of show a little bit of her cleavage. And this is where, because it's a little bit unbuttoned from the top. And this is where, mostly Issei kind of said, what is it? This is where, Issei looks at Sabaki straight in the eyes instead of at her oppai, which mostly surprised Sabaki and says nothing. It seems that all your classes are the same. There hasn't been any change. Well, mostly except for 7th hour, it seems instead of being in dance class, you will be in robotics class. Issei said, yes. Right now in his head, he said yes. This is where Issei closes his eyes and says, I see. Good to know. Well, where will robotics be? Because I never got in that class. This is where, mostly Sabaki nodded. She decides to write down the write on a piece of paper and gives it to him. Of course, she was still kind of putting her hands together with one of her hands near her chest, just to kind of like push it up to see if Issei is still a pervert, or is he acting like he's not. Issei takes the paper and says, thank you. Well, I should be going then. That's where Issei waves and just like walks away. Just kept his eyes towards mostly Sabaki's. Now Sabaki was surprised. She was actually blushing from the fact that she was trying to make Issei a pervert, but no, Issei literally just rejected it. He was basically more of a Sigma male. But not the point. This is where, mostly Issei gets his next classes, and this is where, his first class was the biggest headache that he ever could have. But yeah. Wait, shit. The reason why I say it was the biggest headache is because literally everyone was wondering how and why is Issei back and looking like that. But other than that, I'll be ending it off here for mostly part 3. But yeah, I gotta be going. Bye soon. Yeah. And I made it a little bit longer instead of like 18 minutes or 16 minutes, whatever. Bye soon. Yeah.